Men do love unpredictability. There are several seasons in a relationship where unpredictability is going to be of benefit, and other stages in a relationship where it's not so much of a benefit and it's not something that a man will move towards. Unpredictability can sound like drama or can feel like drama, and that is not the type of unpredictability that I speak about in my videos. Drama is very different from unpredictability. Drama is instability, it's playing games, it's trying to do something to get an outcome from a man, which is very unhealthy, and it's the unhealthy masculine, a woman that has done a level of inner work so she feels a certain way about herself. And then the things that I talk about and the concepts that I talk about come from this space of it's just innately who you are versus you're trying to be a certain way. Because if you're trying to be a certain way, and you're trying to be unpredictable and you're playing games, that is going to work against you with high value men or masculine energy men. These men are embodied, they are integrated in their masculine and their feminine. The feminine, which is like the intuition. And so when you're with a man that is integrated or embodied in his healthy energy, he's also going to be very intuitive. And so he's going to be able to pick up when a woman is like playing games and using the concepts that I talk about for strategy to like get him, and it's going to be off-putting. So just make sure that you do a level of inner work. I can give you all the strategy on how to land a man, but if it's not in conjunction with the inner work, it's not going to really make sense. It gives men a challenge in trying to win over a woman. It tends to get boring for them. And so when they meet a woman that is presenting herself as a challenge, and it's an organic challenge, a high value person is really just a person that has a lot of confidence. They feel good about themselves, and naturally they bring a lot to the table. That's what makes a person high value. Low value is like taking energy. So a person that doesn't feel good about themselves, is insecure, and doesn't believe they bring a lot to the table, because we all inherently are worthy. Sometimes we haven't healed enough to understand how worthy we are. And so we'll come to the table trying to like take something from a man. A high value woman or high value man is just a person that feels confident with who they are and brings a lot to the table. It knows they bring a lot to the table. So when you know you bring a lot to the table, you're not going to put all of your eggs in one basket until you've met the right person. And this is, I guess, male and female. You're going to, without playing games, be unpredictable with a man, because you're not going to put all of your eggs in his basket, and you're not going to choose him before choosing yourself, and you're going to be busy and you're going to have different things going on, and you're going to have your own level of standard that organically then is a challenge to a man, which then he finds like very fascinating. And men get very excited by this type of woman because now they're having to pursue her, and they get excited about her. When you give a man predictability, it gets boring for a man, because for him, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing to conquer here. There's nothing to win over. And even if it satisfies like a man's ego to have won you very easily, it's not something that like sustains him in the long run, because men value what they have to work for. And when it comes to marrying a woman, a man wants to feel that if I'm going to marry this woman, I want to make sure that I have like deep desire and deep interest for her forever. Like, this is the only woman that I want to be with. And the only way to be that way for a man is to be inherently a natural challenge, because that is what keeps a man like pursuing and having like checkpoints to win you over. Oftentimes we get excited when we meet a guy and there's no unpredictability and there's no challenge. And initially it can feel like, okay, this is great, and the guy's coming to see me, etc. But he's not invigorated by you. So what will tend to happen is like you're getting excited by all of his advances and like seeing you, etc. But then when it comes down to like wanting a commitment, he's not ready to like pull the trigger on that because he's bored. He's lost interest. And if he loses interest in you before even making you his girlfriend, he's not going to think about like moving into commitment with you or marrying you, because he wants to be with a woman that he's constantly having to be challenged by. Now, challenge for a man is not games. It's not a woman that is like trying to manipulate a man and like play games with him. It's not anything like that. It's a woman that has high self-worth, feels very good about herself. So she's confident in who she is. And therefore, she stands by her own beliefs and convictions. She has a very strong sense of self and character and values. And that makes a man be his best. Men are always going to want to marry a woman or commit to a woman that they feel makes them better. And when a man feels that with a woman, he feels like challenged by her in a healthy way, he's going to naturally commit to her. This is the reason I focus on inner work so much. And you can go through my inner work course and my books. All the links are in the description box. The videos are very surface level, like you have to do your inner work. But then on top of the inner work, you have to do the things I say in the course to move into your own level of healing. And maybe I'll do a group coaching program again. But the accountability piece is very important because oftentimes you don't want to do the inner work. You just want to bypass it to get to the strategy. But you really have to examine your own self to become that woman. If you are not that woman, to get a man to be interested in you and also stay interested in you. Because oftentimes we can be married to a man, but we don't feel that the man is like coming toward us. And that usually is because the woman has like let herself go and she's putting all of like her energy and happiness on the man. And when a man gets married and he feels that, like then he also tends to, he gets bored in a sense because it's too much importance placed on one thing. It doesn't mean that you can't like text message him or update him. It has nothing to do with that. And being mysterious and all these concepts I talk about, it comes innately from who you are. You can send messages, you can be connected, you can do all that, yet a man can still have this sense about you that he can't treat you bad because you're going to have the strength to walk away. And that combination to a man is very exciting. The unpredictability factor is something that plays a role in a beginning of a relationship, not so much when you're in the relationship. Men don't want to be with a woman that they feel is like unpredictable or a challenge. Like once you're in a relationship or once you're married, the challenge aspect will come in and will always be at play from a woman's own innate level of strength. Where that ties in is a man always has a sense that you're strong enough to be able to leave if need be. There's no inherent games there. Unpredictability is something that is important in the beginning of a relationship where not all of your eggs are in a man's basket. And in fact, last night, my husband and I were in bed talking about his younger days when he was playing pro golf. And there was a time where he was like dating 4 women at one time. And my husband like was an athlete and he had friends that were athletes and like they played pro baseball. And he was telling me about one of his good friends who had a rotation. And my husband was like, okay, like, let me try this out. And there was one point where he had 4 women that he was talking to or he was dating. And he was saying to me, it was like a headache. I couldn't deal with all the logistics. And he ended up like ending things with them. He told me was where he went to a bar with one of the girls and she like grabbed his hand and she said something like, okay, so we're girlfriend, boyfriend now. And he said that like immediately his energy shifted and she could sense that that's not what he wanted. And he kind of ended it because what he said to me was he didn't want to lead her on. When a man knows that you're there, and most men, when they're not looking to get serious with a woman, they will have a rotation, they will date, and every man is different. For my husband, he's dated, but handling multiple women for him is not something he would want to do because he's not really a fan of like his attention going in multiple directions. He's a very single focused type of man. When a man knows that a woman is ahead of him and there's like no unpredictability, meaning he could see them whenever he wanted, everything was based on his schedule. And this is just men in general, including his friends that were pro baseball players. It was like the man had all the cards. And when you do that and there is no level of unpredictability so that you're always available for a guy whenever he wants, what happens is he doesn't feel interested. There's no challenge there for a man having to like earn you or work for you. And so this is why I always say in my videos that it's really important to do your own level of inner work so that you're not putting all of your cards like in one basket, because you need a man to like prove himself to you, and you're not really gonna know how a man is until he's proven himself to you over like a period of time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are and if you have any other ideas that you want me to do videos on. And make sure you check out the inner work course as well as the books. They're all linked in the description below. And if you need to speak with me about your specific situation, you can book a call with me as well. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.